Okay, I'm going to show how to do a linear regression line of best fit, but by using the calculator. So you'll need your TI-84, and if you take a look at the notes for 2.5, you'll find this dirt biking, VMX dirt bike racing problem. Has to do with making a scatter plot of the weight of the bike and the height that it will jump. One would assume that as the weight of the bike increases, the height will decrease, so we expect a negative slope on our line of best fit. Now, in order to put it on the calculator, there's a lot of keystrokes you have to do. You have in your note packet, you have a list of steps, so you should be looking at that. I also have a list of steps in Schoology, and I have another picture of a list of steps, so you can find it in multiple places. You can also replay this video if needed. So I'm going to put my weight as my x values and my height as my y values. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to enter them into my scatter plot. So we're going to go to Stat, which is this key right here. Stat, and we're going to edit. We're going to edit our lists. So we just hit enter because it's on number 1 right there. Enter. List 1 and list 2. I'm going to put my x's in list 1 and my y's in list 2. You can clear them out a bunch of different ways. You can clear them out right in this window. You can delete them out individually, or you can delete the whole list at once. You can go up and you can hit clear and enter, and you can go over and you can go up to L2, clear and enter, and now they're gone. Okay, so we got here by going to stat and to edit. Now, one thing we also have to do, we want to go to our stat plot. So if you look here under y equals, if you go second and stat plot, we're going to use plot number 1. So notice all of my plots are off. If any years are on, this is also a place you can turn them off. Hit enter, turn it on. Type is this guy. This first guy is a scatter plot. It says my x's will go in L1, my y's will go in L2. They're going to mark them with, it doesn't matter, you're going to mark them with, I'm going to mark them with boxes, sure, and we're going to use blue. Okay, so let's go back to stat, edit, L1. I'm going to type in my weight, 19, 19.5, 20, 20.5, 21, 22, 22.5, 23, 23.5, 24. Now I'm going to go put the corresponding y value in there. They have to be, these are like ordered pairs, so they have to match up correctly. 10.35, 10.3, 10.25, 12.2, oops, 10.1, 9.85, 9.8, 9.79, 9.7, 9.6. A couple of things to check out to make sure you've done it correctly. We have 10 data values. If you scroll up to this bottom one, it says L110, that's the 10th LX value. And then over here, these have to match up. If they don't match up on the bottom, then you missed one. Okay? So the first thing you do is you edit your data by using the stat edit function. Next thing we're going to do is, we are going to go to stat, and we are going to calculate, and we are going to calculate a linear regression equation. Now if you scroll down, you see number 4 looks correct, but when you get to statistics classes, they actually put them in this form, this one that's number 8, a plus bx, where the b is the slope and the a is the y-intercept. A little bit different, but the 8 is the one that they used in statistics, so that's the one that we're going to use. And I hit linear regression, and it brings me to this list right here. Now, if your calculator didn't bring up this menu, your calculator needs to be updated, and I can help you with that in class, but you can still do the majority of the problem. X list is list 1, Y list is list 2, frequency list has nothing to do with this problem. Store regression equation, you should be following along with the sheet that has the steps. So we're on store regression equation. And it says go to vars. We want to store this in Y1. We want to put the equation, we want the calculator to put it into Y1 for us. Okay? Probably should make sure that Y1 is cleared out. So I'm going to go to Y equals. Looky there. I've got something in my Y1. I'm going to clear it out. Okay, let's go back to stat, right calculate, number 8 is the one I'm looking for. I can just type 8, and now I want to store my regression equation, and we are talking about storing it in Y1, which is a variable. So we go to vars. Vars is short for variables. We are talking about a Y variable, so we scroll to the right to Y vars. All of our chapter has been about functions, so we're going to select function, and there is Y1. Now if you wanted to put it in Y2 or Y3, you could. You just select that. So we're saying my x's are L1, my y's are L2, my regression equation is Y1, and we want to calculate. And we hit enter, and I get this equation right here. Okay, so I'm going to write it down. It's y equals 15.11 minus 0.229x. So this is my slope. This is my y-intercept. The y-intercept doesn't mean much here. It means if you had a weight of 0, you would cross at 15.11, or you'd jump 15.11 height. Slope means as we go down by this many change in y, our jump will go down by this much every pound that we increase. That's what the slope means. Now, a bunch of you probably have a whole bunch of stuff right here. And some of you might have just what I have. And we have to do another thing to get our R value. Okay? So let's go get our R value. I'm going to show you how to turn that on. Clear this out. So we need to go to second and the number 0, which is a catalog. You only need to do this once, and then I need to go scroll to diagnostics, which I actually can get there pretty quickly if I go second and the number D, alpha and the number D. I should have done. And now we can scroll down to diagnostics. We can turn them on. Once you turn them on, they'll stay on. If you reset your calculator at all, they'll go away. And I want diagnostics on. So it's this one. Enter. enter, good, stat, calculate, number 8. My regression equation should already be in there, but let's make sure. Vars, y vars, there it is, calculate, here we go. Okay, our important number is the r of negative 0.53. So we've got, what we want to write down is y equals 15.11 minus 0.229x and the r of negative 0.53. If the r is close to negative 1, we have a very linear, negative linear correlation. It's a high correlation negatively. If the r is close to positive 1, we have a very positive slope, very linear slope. And if it's close to 0, there's no rhyme or reason to our points. Now, when we look at our graph, we want to go to zoom. We want to go to zoom, and we want to go to zoom stat, number 9, and we can see the graph, and you'll see something funky. We can see that we have a very linear set of data points, except we have something that is probably an outlier. And if you go back and look at our table, this 20.5 and 12.2 does not fit. The weight was 20.5 and the 12.2 doesn't work very well. So that's probably an outlier, and we can talk about why that happens at a later date. But that's why our correlation coefficient r was negative 0.53. Okay. Now watch what happens when we remove that potential outlier. You don't have to do this. You can watch me. I'm going to delete the 20.5 and I'm going to delete the 12.2 and I'm going to calculate my number 8 and I'm going to store my regression equation in vars, in y vars, in function, and y1. And I'm going to calculate. And watch what happens to the, now I have y equals 13.3, but look at my r value. My r value is negative 0.9927. That's really close to negative 1. And when I look at my graph, zoom, number 9 is zoom stat. Whoa, that looks like almost a straight line. It looks different. So that's why when all of the points are very close to a linear equation, that's where our r value is close to negative 1. So when we look at our values there, we can run that again. We can write, this is our answer. Our answer was the other one because we weren't necessarily going to omit that. But if you did omit it, then your answer would be 13.3 minus 0.154x, and we get an r value of negative 0.99, which is a strong negative correlation. Okay, so you want to follow the steps that I gave you on the sheet. You can watch this video again. Remember to edit. You're going to go stat, edit. That's where you get your L1 and L2. And then if you want to go to your stat to the right, calculate, number 8. And when you want to find what you're going to store, you go to vars, and then you go from there. Y vars, function. That's where you get your y1. When you want to look at your graph, you want to zoom stat, and it'll make sure it fits. There you have it. You have a few problems to work on.